today we're going to help Linda from New Hampshire. Is it New Hampshire or is it New Hampshire?
Doug would know.
It's totally Hampshire.
Yes. Gorgeous place, by the way. Linda, say hello.
Hello from New Hampshire, Joe and OG. My question is a timely one. I am normally a very boring buy and hold passive index investor. I never worry when the markets go down. However, I have a question I think a lot of other about to be college freshmen will have. 529 plan, as of January, had $160,000 in it. Today, well, actually, I haven't looked in a few weeks, but as of 2 weeks ago, it had 150. So it's lost $10,000. I'm going to be needing this money soon, obviously. Tuition is $40K per year, so I'll need a total of 160. It's in an age-based portfolio, so it's 85% bonds and 15% stock. But I was kind of wishing I had cashed out when I reached the goal. So at this point, I guess I'm asking, what would you do? Would you cash it out? Would you cash out some of it? Would you just let it all ride because hoping we don't need some of it for a few years now? Thanks for any insight you can provide. Love the show. Thanks.
Linda, thank you so much for the question. And by the way, she must not be a native New Hampshire person.
I don't know. I heard it.
You heard it?
I heard her go, however.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
so.
think she's the real deal.
But
I like how she's like, yeah, whatever. Just love the show. Yada, yada, yada. Give me my answer.
Yeah, I got to go back to looking at beautiful mountains and stuff. Yes. I got to go back out to the maple syrup farm and, man, just beautiful. I just want to, no? It's just yummy. It's just beautiful place.
It is an amazing place. As long as you want to go north and south, you can get anywhere in New Hampshire. But if you want to go east and west, you got to go like 70 miles north, take a right.
Can't get there from there.
You just cannot.
Yeah. Linda OG has a problem that I'm sure a lot of people are having as they look at their statements. I was just in Little Rock, and a friend of the show, Amy, was there and said she was listening to our 5 things to do in a down market and said, how down is it? She goes, and I made the mistake of opening my 401k statement for the first time in 6 months and went, whoa, hey, being down 10 grand.
It's not nothing. But so the right answer was, yeah, you should have dealt with this a long time ago. That was the right answer, but you didn't. So here you are today. So,
well, let's talk about then people that aren't in that situation where they need the money right now. Let's say they have young kids. If Linda could have backed up the truck and done this differently, what should she have done differently?
What we recommend is for 529 plans for you to take the money that you're going to use the freshman year of college out the freshman year of high school. It's just a good symmetry. It's just easy to remember that way.
Nice. Okay.
And put it in cash or fixed income or something really, 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 conservative, because you don't want this to happen. The problem is that 4 years ago, the market was going great. And so you go, wow, just another year. Just another year. It's easy to look back today and say, I should have. But it's a lot more difficult when things are going gangbusters. The byproduct of that also is then you actually have to save more money because you have, a few less years of compounding, because eventually that money gets to cash 4 years ahead of time. Yeah, if you would have done that this cycle, you would have missed out on some pretty substantially big growth years. But by the same token, you wouldn't be where you are. So you have to kind of put that into consideration. But it sounds like it's already.
Well, because it's not about missing out, OG, as much as it is about having the money where you want it when you want it. Like, I feel like we get too into the market cycles and not enough into the cycles of when we need the money, which is really the first cycle.
I mean, especially for college, you pretty much know when your kid's going to be in college. People say, well, I'm going to save for a house or vacation home. You can kind of fudge that number a little bit, right? You can say, well, if the market's down, I'm okay with delaying it another year or whatever, So if you've got a known outcome and a known time frame, then the money has to be in the spot where it's available on that day, and you got to take the volatility out of it. So I don't know why you would do anything other than that.
You know, it is just amazing to me that remember some of the, and by the way, thank you for that question, Linda. But what is amazing to me when I'm looking at people online and listening kind of to these discussions that are happening online, that a year ago, people were worried about investing in the market because it was too high, right? And we have an equal amount of worry today in the market because the market is too low, because it's going down. It's funny, like when is the right time? If, oh, no, the market's at all-time highs, I can't do that. Oh no, the market is horrible now. I can't invest now. Like, I feel like there's always something that we worry about.
If on April 1st, April Fool's Day of 2017, I would have said to you, Joe, I guarantee a 70% return in the market between now and May of 2022. You'd have taken that all day long. You'd have done the math on that one. Okay, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years, 70%. That's better than, that's almost 15% a year. I'll take that bet. I'll take that. And last March, when you were up 70% in 4 years instead of 5, you'd have been like, woo, oh my goodness, you did it. It's the same number. You know, like we talked about a week ago, I think that people miss the opportunity to look backward to see exactly where they were compared to where they are today. It's the same number as March of 2021. Like, who cares? It's like literally a year difference.
Well, that actually might be good news for Linda. I know I already said thank you to Linda for
we didn't answer her question yet. I was getting there
for the question, but some of this might just be give back. You know, give back a gains that she had the year before. So,
well, and for her, she said it's already in an age-based portfolio. So back to Linda's question. So you're an age-based portfolio. You said it's already 85% fixed income. So you have a really small amount of money that's exposed to the equity markets anyway. And the downside is that this time, both fixed income and stocks have gone down. You know, that's not generally how it works, but it happened to be this time. Because of the outcome, I would leave the fourth year of tuition invested, and the rest of the money would be safe and secure. So to give the opportunity for that 40, that year's 30 to grow back to 40 because we're down 20%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get it all back because you don't have enough. Well, I mean, you might, but there's some chance that your fourth year money goes down from, let's call it 30 down to 20. I mean, that could happen too. So you got to kind of weigh that. But I think, you know, if you've got 4 years, we're not at the beginning of it. We're somewhere in the middle, and whether we're close to the end or some, you know, where we are in that roller coaster ride, I don't think anybody has any idea. I certainly don't, but we're closer to the end of it than we are at the beginning. So maybe you feel like gambling and saying like, well, I'm down 20, like it could go down another 10, but probably over the next 4 years, it'll be positive statistically. So is that a gamble you want to take? You could, or you could just say, well, I've got 4 years to save another $10,000, put it all in cash. And then you just got to save $200 a month for the next 4 years. And then you've covered it all. So two different outcomes there: conservative or swing for the fences, hit the fat pitch over the wall. I don't know.
Nice.
Hit the dinger.
hit this.
Way to really put a period on that.
Yeah. It just
Thanks
depends
for
on
the question.
I mean, obviously she was pretty aggressive, or at least she thought she was, but the age-based portfolio means that you're actually not. So
Well, she's down 10 grand still.
Yeah, which checks, I guess, the math. So then it's just basically, do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? It's like, but the next 3 years I'd have in cash. That money would just be sitting in the 529 playing cash, because you're going to write the checks, 40 grand a year. The last year you can either save another 10 grand over the next 4 years to make it happen, or let it be invested in the market and see what happens.
Either way, the frustrating part of this is, you know, we've talked before about the headlines and how the headlines, if you read news headlines, they will just drive you crazy. This is a piece from moneywise.com. How can I stop the pain and make money in this nightmarish market?
How can I use different adjectives and adverbs in a headline?
How can I stop the pain and make money in this nightmarish market?
Says, I don't know. I mean, having gone through 2 of these in the last 20 years that are, 3 actually, that were all 1,000 times worse than this.
Far more painful.
It's like, give me a break.
I just, it's hard for me to not get frustrated when, and not at, it's just hard. You have to love the change, right? You don't get the up without the down. We say it like every 4th episode. So why do we still have to talk about that so often? Kind of the human nature, the emotional side of investing with our money when people only want the upside. You don't get upside unless you have downside, and you just have to be cool with it over the course of 20 or 30 years. Why do we have to keep talking about this? Sorry, rant,
It's
strike
like
it.
what Helen. No, exactly. It's what Helen Russell said when she was on talking about how to be sad, which is you don't know the happy days unless you have some sad days.
Exactly. So
it's the same thing.
It exactly.
Today is
It totally
a sad
is.
market day.
It's just experience.
It's a sad
That's all it
market
is.
cycle.
It's experience, and the people who get this experience correct will benefit in future market declines in their lifetime. The people who get this experience incorrect, who sell or follow some charlatan on Reddit to, whatever, they're going to be in a world of hurt for their entire life. Because every time this happens, every 5 to 7 years, it's going to be the same drama all over again. Versus,
and I first said that as a joke, but very seriously, OG, I feel like there are people in life that just have to have something to complain about. The same people that were complaining that the market was too high are now the ones that are complaining that it's too low. It's almost like that Jerry Seinfeld thing. Like, you're never happy where you are. You're like, oh, I'm at home. I got to get to work. I got to get to work. The second you get to work, you're like, I got to go home. I got to get home. And then or I got to get in my car. Then you get in your car, you're stuck in traffic. You're like, I got to get out of my car. I got to get home. And then you get home, you're like, oh, I got to go to bed early because I got to get up for work tomorrow. It's the same, just we complain about every state that we're in.
Yeah.
So Helen Russell was right on when she said how to be sad. You know what her advice was? Lean into it.
I love being sad because that means happy's coming.
Lean into the down market. Well, just lean into the down market. What are the blessings?
Well,
here?
it's
the good thing is for those goals that aren't college right now, like Linda's has, I can buy more.
Yeah, there's a sale at Pennies.
Shovel more in. Yes,
I mean,
at Pennies. When's the last time you were in a Pennies?
I found out they're still in business.
They are.
I just found that out. That's like when you play Dead or Alive and someone picks some actor. Like, I thought that guy died 20 years ago. No, he's still kicking it. That's what my realization was on JCPenney's.
When that happens to me and somebody's like, I thought you died 20 years ago, to be like, oh man, no. Please.
But it's just basically, the answer to that is buy. It's always a low point. Whether the market's down or the market's up, over time, it's always a low point, right? Has history and data shown us that? Whenever you buy, if you wait long enough, you bought it at a lowish point and it's going up.
Yeah. Zoom out.
Right. Zoom out.
Agreed. Thanks for the question, Linda. You got a question for us. Head to stackingbenjamins.com/voicemail, and OG and Doug and I happy to dive in